What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk live from Indianapolis, Indiana at the 2024 NFL Combine. I'm Noah Strackbine, joined always by my main man, Steven Thompson. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk or subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are now 3 days through the NFL Combine. Plenty of action. Omar Khan spoke to the media today with really a ton of news, a ton of insight on where the Pittsburgh Steelers are going, how they're handling their quarterback situation, and once again reiterated it is Kenny Pickett until it is no longer Kenny Pickett. But we got some thoughts on that. Mason Rudolph, Najee Harris's fifth-year option, and of course who they are and are not meeting with here at the NFL Combine. It's a beautiful day in Indiana. There was a tornado here like yesterday, 2 days ago.
Dude,
it was the wildest sleep of my life. I might have told you that. I don't remember what day was 75 degrees, what day we talked when the tornado came through, but I stayed up all night and just stared at my window waiting for something to come through it. It was insane. Hope the weather's a little bit better back in the Berg. How you feel, my friend?
It's good. I mean, it wouldn't be an all Steelers trip to the NFL Combine without a tornado warning. That's true. I feel like you got to check that box. That's like the free space in the bingo. We don't have any tornadoes here. It is freezing cold, but we just got to make it through today. This weekend's gonna be beautiful. So we're fighting through today, and once we get through it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's the same here. If it's windy, it's like your bones are breaking, and if it's calm, you're like, all right, we could deal with this. I'm from Pittsburgh. It's not. I feel bad for everybody coming in from Vegas and the West Coast, and I mean Donnie Drew is having a hard time out here in his sweatshirts. So they're surviving. We're getting through every second of every day. Today, Omar Khan spoke to both the local media and the media as a mass, addressed a bunch of stuff. Obviously, the Steelers quarterback situation was the biggest thing, the biggest topic of note by everybody. He was immediately asked, hey, what are you going to do? He was actually asked, are you going to trade for Justin Fields? And he didn't shut the door.
He said yes. It's crazy. No.
Yeah. He had more to say about Kenny Pickett, more to say about Mason Rudolph than he did anybody else. And I think that's where we start today. He confirmed that the team has been in contact with Mason Rudolph's representatives, also said that they have, quote unquote, full faith in Kenny Pickett to this point, reiterated once again that they want Mason Rudolph to return. But he also said that he thinks every player has the right to or deserves to see what options are out there. You look at the situation, you hear what Omar says today. It's almost nothing new, but you hear it from another voice in another way. Your thoughts, to know that they're still reaching out. You think that talks are going smoothly at this point? We're a little under 2 weeks away from the actual free agency doors opening, and the Steelers have the opportunity still to ink a contract before then if they'd like to.
Yeah, I think, like you said, this is a lot of the same information just kind of repackaged into Omar Khan. But what I found notable was, what Khan said about, how every player deserves to kind of explore their own market. Because I think that kind of indicates to me that this is going to be a slow process with Mason Rudolph. They are going to, because the reality is whether or not Omar Khan thinks that every player deserves to explore their own market, they're going to. So Mason is going to see what he can get. He's going to see what his options are. He's going to see who wants him. I think I had higher expectations than for what he could get and the opportunities that he could get than it seems like some other people, like especially in the national media, think. So wherever his market goes, Mason's going to follow it, and he's going to really do his homework, because I think I've said earlier in the offseason, this is a huge offseason for him, like personally. This is a pivotal year for him to get a paycheck, for him to maybe get an opportunity somewhere that leads into another big paycheck. So he owes it to himself to, like Omar said, explore all of his options, see what's really going to be the best fit for him. And to that extent, the Steelers are going to just have to probably wait a little bit, because that's going to be a process. It's going to take a minute. He's going to exhaust every kind of avenue that he has for seeing what he can get. And so the Steelers are going to have to be a little patient. I feel like he knows what the Steelers are going to be able to offer him, what their deal is, what the situation is there. And, until he makes a decision, though, the Steelers are kind of forced to sit on their hands a little bit because they've said they want Mason back. They want him to be a part of this competition with Kenny Pickett. So kind of hinges on what he decides to do.
I agree. I look at the situation and I say the Steelers understand fully that they are probably going to walk into free agency, and maybe Mason gets a new deal, maybe not. Can I ask you this? Do you think that the Steelers, and we've had this conversation before, but I think that things have changed and we've talked to a lot of people since then and gotten some insight on really the direction that the Steelers are looking. Do you think that they're willing to wait at least maybe a day or two into free agency and saying, hey, you know, Mason still hasn't signed elsewhere. We'll keep the door open because we'd like him to see, just like he said, just like Omar said, we'd like him to see what his market is. Then we can play with that. Maybe best case scenario, it suits them better because his market's not that high, and he wants to come back for Pittsburgh for maybe less money.
Oh, you mean like wait for him to kind of get some offers from other teams and then see
Yeah,
react to?
maybe not even offers, but maybe just open. Like we've had the conversation before where it's you kind of think maybe the Steelers won't give Mason Rudolph time to explore other things because they'll look to move on. Do you think that instead they'll view it as, look, he deserves the opportunity to go in free agency, but we want him to be our guy? Omar kind of let it slip for like a half a second that he was like, yeah, Mason does like it here in Pittsburgh, and then went back to the whole, but he's a free agent, and I was like, yeah, I think both sides kind of they like each other. Mason just fully understands that he may never have this opportunity again. So do you look at it and just say, maybe they'll leave the door open for a day or two once the market opens, just to say, okay, we'll let Mason do his thing and then hope he comes back?
I think what they'll say is, look, just before you make any final decisions,
Yeah.
come back to us. Like let us give us a chance to basically give us a chance to match this. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, and you can go sign with who you want to. But just let us kind of have the final say. Let us decide. Let us respond to any offers you get, because I think, like you said, there is definitely mutual interest. I think Mason has a personal attachment to this city,
Yes.
to the team that drafted him, and especially after getting the kind of chance that he did towards the end of the season, I think he feels a connection to the organization in that way, and so I don't think he's going to say completely, "Oh, I'm closing the door as soon as I get an offer that I like." I think he's going to. I guess you could call it doing right by the Steelers, but I think he's going to keep that door open, because who knows how far, who knows how high the Steelers are willing to go. I mean, especially if that price tag isn't as high as maybe I thought it was going to be. I think the
Yes.
Steelers would absolutely be willing to reach a little bit more with the higher salary cap, with all of the stuff that they have going on. So I think they are saying to Mason, hey, just keep us in mind. We're going to still be here. We're willing to be a little bit patient with you too.
I agree. I think that the Steelers and Mason probably have an understanding. And I think Mason does too. Like, I think Mason wants to see if he could get more money, but I don't think he thinks there's a better opportunity. And I don't think that there is a better opportunity. I don't think you could go anywhere else and say, well, on the like nobody's going to guarantee him a starting job. And at least in Pittsburgh, you're going to have the opportunity to compete with somebody that really you've already beaten out. Like, once given a fair shot, you've already beaten out Kenny Pickett. So I don't think that he's going to have I think he's going to view the Steelers as, this is a spot where if the Steelers offer me a realistic contract, something that I think I could work with, and nobody's tossing me crazy dollars, the Steelers are the team I'm going to sign with. And I think Pittsburgh understands that. I think Omar Khan understands that. I think that they know he wants to do his due diligence, obviously, because this is a lot. Like, it's not a couple of bucks, it's not like he might get $1 million more here, a million. Like, I think, they're leaving it open just in case somebody wants to be like, hey, here's $10 million a year. Okay, sounds good. Like, that's where I'm going, but I don't think that he views anywhere else as a better opportunity than Pittsburgh. And I think because of that, both sides will they'll have some wiggle room, to during this whole thing, to say, you explore what you need to explore. We understand that we kind of hold some upper ground, and we'll take it from there. And once that happens, if Mason goes elsewhere, then you take it to step 2. But for right now, it kind of just sounds like there's a process, and both sides have an understanding. And I don't think we've gotten to that point yet when it came to this negotiation.
Yeah, exactly. And they're both. Yeah, I think the fact that like Mason, I'm just surprised that their interest doesn't seem to be as high like from elsewhere. You know, like you haven't
Yeah.
heard any buzz about like, oh, so and so team is interested in Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph's a fit for so and so team who needs a
Yeah.
quarterback. I think that gives the Steelers a little bit of calm. That gives Mason a little bit of, okay, let me be patient with this as well. Let me see where the market goes with this. I think both sides are not. I mean, standoff makes it sound like like it's an adversarial relationship, which I don't think it is. But it's just
No.
everyone's just kind of holding where they are right now. And then the Justin Fields trade will drop, and then and then it's all moot.
And then it'll all change, and then
Yep.
everything will change, and then everything will change. In the midst of, it was actually hilarious. Omar's talking, and he gets asked that, and I'm sure we'll toss the video up on YouTube at some point, but he gets asked about Justin Fields, and he says everything's open, and then somebody else is like, "What about Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson?" And it was obviously in a joking manner, and Omar couldn't even hold it back. And I was like, "That's good. At least he knows. At least he's got a full understanding of
Yeah.
here it is. This is going to happen." Guys, we have gear, new merchandise from AST to Mooth, Bleed Black and Gold, Kenny to George, and plenty of others now at our new website, blackandgoldapparel.com. And the coolest part, 50% of all profits at our store go to UPMC Children's Hospital here in Pittsburgh to make sure that we are giving back. We can't thank you guys enough, and we want to show you guys how thankful and how grateful we are for everything by making sure that we do our part to make the community here in Pittsburgh better. Go check out everything. We tried to make everything new and improved, from our designs to our quality of sweatshirts and t-shirts and everything else. Let us know and check everything out at blackandgoldapparel.com. And as always, thank you guys for everything. He also spoke about a number of other things. The biggest one, obviously, center, addressing that Mason Cole wasn't in their plans in 2024. And he just kind of addressed, hey, it's a respect thing. It's same with Chuk, same with Presley, same with Mitch Trubisky. Once they realized that they were not going to be part of the team this upcoming season, they figured they'd give everybody a head start in free agency, which I think is a respect thing. I respect that. I get that maybe you could have got something for Chuk's core for, but I think the rest of them, it was a good move. And I think somebody like Chooks, who you kind of hoped worked out, didn't work out, I respect the fact that you could just say, we'll let him sign where he wants to sign instead of forcing a trade on him, because he will be valuable somewhere else, and chances are you're going to get like a fifth round pick. It's not going to be a lot for Chooks Cole for. He did say in replacing Mason Cole for center, Nate Herbig is an option. James Daniels is an option, but he said that he had a very good year at guard, and the Steelers enjoyed what he did in guard, thought he improved. So I think I agree there. Said he's open to the NFL draft, open to free agency, open to trades if there is a trade available for a center. I think trading for a center is as difficult as it comes, because there are 32 good ones, and then there are 32 ones, and I don't know if you're taking a shot on an one. You look at free agency, I've been told that the Steelers have some interest in a name like Brian Allen, probably a guy to watch. You think that's the way to go? You think the Steelers are, I mean, we'll find out on Saturday when they talk to the centers and the offensive linemen, but you hear that, you think it kind of changes your mind, sculpts it a little bit more towards veteran over maybe a rookie?
To be quite honest, not really. I still think that they're going to look more towards the draft. I feel like the draft is the better route, to be quite honest. I feel like, Khan also did mention that he feels like it's a deep, not just center class, but offensive, but not just center class, but offensive line class as a whole. So I feel like there are going to be plenty of options for them to pick up a guy who has the potential to be a long-term option. That's the thing. Like, Braylon Allen, he's the Rams, right? Brian Allen, excuse me.
Yeah,
But
he from the Rams. He's 28, I want to say.
Really, he's that young. I thought he was much older, but I changes things a little bit. But I still feel like a guy that you can build around for cheap for a lot longer is the better way to go. And I feel like that's a draft thing. And there are at least 3 guys, maybe 4 guys that I think you would feel comfortable doing that with. So, I'm still kind of sold on the draft for right now. Like you said, I just don't know what the free agent center market is going to look like. And is that a position that the Steelers really want to invest big time money in? Because like you need an obvious upgrade there. How obvious is enough? Like, because there's also like levels to it. I feel like in the free agent, like there is there is the like $10 million guys like the Ryan Jansons or blanking on the Bears guy, but he just got cut. I forget
Oh,
his name,
Cody
but
Whitehair.
yeah. Like there are guys like that who are, 6, 7, upwards of that many millions of dollars, and then everyone else is like 1 million, 2 million, 1.5 million.
Yeah.
For like probably for a reason. So
Yeah.
that's what leads me to believe that you bank on, one of these good centers in this draft. I feel like there's tons of potential there that you can, if you're, I'd rather, I'd rather roll the dice on a younger guy in the draft than go for a free agent in my mind.
I agree. I think the issue with the draft that is becoming a thing is Zach Frazier is starting to climb heavily up boards. I saw a couple of mocks while I'm here in Indy, just like eating at a bar or something, scrolling across the bottom of a ticker that said like Frazier going 25th or Frazier going 29th. And if him and Jackson Powers Johnson are gone in the first round and the Steelers don't draft either of them, which I think Frazier at 20 is it. I mean, I think you're just shooting a little bit too high there. That could become an issue. And I think if that continues, if that trend continues, you could look at it and say, maybe you sign a Brian Allen. Maybe that's where their interest comes from. And then you draft a guy later in the, third, fourth round, and you utilize that to develop him, and you say, okay, well, look, we could get 2 good years out of Brian Allen before he's 30 years old. And then at that point, this next guy is good to go. And I think Brian Allen's a starter. I think he's a capable dude in the NFL. I think definitely an upgrade over Mason Cole. And if you aren't going to land one of these top 2, which I think they, if they have an opportunity to, great. But if we're being honest, I've been told down here I've been talking to a number of draft experts who are not as high on Jackson Powers Johnson as me and you were. And that's a little concerning. If they could get maybe a little bit deeper in the draft, I think a veteran makes sense. Maybe Nate Herbig makes sense. I'm skeptical on moving Nate Herbig to center. I'm not like a proponent of you take a guy who plays guard, who jokes about how he doesn't play center, and tell him to play center. I just don't think that's the. But maybe they like him. Maybe that's the big move. I don't know, but I could see a veteran signing, and a guy like Brian Allen's young enough that you could still utilize him and have 2-3 good years in him, and then draft a guy if it doesn't work out that way, and do that. Because with the 20th pick, I mean, you could draft Zach Frazier if he's still available. I think Jackson Powers Johnson will be gone. Yeah, exactly. But you're gonna get that, like, you passed up on really good corners, you passed up on really good offensive tackles. I just don't know if it's the best move, and the board just might not shake out in their favor.
Yeah, that's Zach Frazier could kind of blow this all up if he rises to around the 20th mark, and I don't think I would use the 20th pick there. There's just like better value, I feel like, at other positions.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it depends on just how high, like how this center, because it's, I don't know, it's a good center class, I feel like, but after those, but you need a starting caliber guy,
Exactly.
that's the thing. Like whatever move you have to make, it has to be starting caliber right away. And if you're not convinced about one of those top 4 guys, then just go with a free agent. But like I think any move you make, you have to be sure that this guy, for at least the next 2-3 years, is going to be our center. Like it shouldn't have to be a position of worry at all. And so I guess I think free agent might, a Brian Allen might give you more assurance there. Like it makes it less of a headache. I think you stay up, but you lose less sleep over a Brian Allen than you do, a Zach Frazier or a Cedric Van Pran or Jackson Powers Johnson, or even I think it's Graham Barton, right, from Duke.
Graham Barton. Yeah.
Like I think those guys are, for as much as I like them, they are a roll of the dice. And if with Frazier like rising the way that he has, that I don't know, that blows things up a little bit, like you outlined. So I would just that would be a case where I would say that would make me kind of go more towards the free agent route, I think.
Yeah, I think Frazier depends. The other 2 guys after him, I'm just not sold are instant starters. Whereas in, like, and you could draft them, and if you draft them in the 3rd round, cool. And I don't think you owe anything to Brian Allen to be like, okay, well, you were really good for a year. This new guy's 100% ready to go. But I just think I think it's definitely an option. both ways. And from what I'm hearing, they just do have interest in Brian Allen. So we'll see what happens there. Interesting that Omar Khan addressed just that they're approaching all options. And I don't know, even a trade would be kind of wild. You take it to the NFL Combine, and what they have done here so far today was corners and defensive backs. They met with some safeties, didn't meet with all of them. If we're going to be 100% honest, I went down to talk to safeties, and as I was walking down, I was like, I don't know if they're going to talk to safeties. And they talked to two, maybe three of them. The rest of them were like, yeah, no, like I like Mike Tomlin, but he hasn't acknowledged my existence. And I was like, all right, sounds good. Corners, a bit surprising. Okay, so they talked to the two big ones out of Alabama, Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry. They talked to Cooper DeJean, who is another big one. This guy had a massive crowd around him, like massive, biggest crowd of the day. Surprising name. They did not talk to Quinion Mitchell, which I think immediately you look at as a just, an outside perspective and say, oh, that's a little bit surprising. I'm not putting too much draft stock into that. I'm not putting too much into they didn't meet with them because they don't like them. I kind of look at it like they sent some scouts to Toledo. You don't send scouts to Toledo just to say, hey, go scout the Toledo game. That's just not what an NFL team does.
That's not Alabama LSU.
We're not looking for the sleeper. Nobody's like, hey, man, Toledo, they might have some guys. No, Toledo's out one guy, and you sent it to go watch the one guy. The Reese Senior Bowl, they met with him more than once. He even mentioned to me that, Mike Tomlin challenged him with Roman Wilson. So there's some stock there, but you see that they don't meet at the Combine. I mean, my immediate thought, maybe I'm wrong here, is, they hid Kenny Pickett, and they tried as hard as humanly possible to hide Kenny Pickett and say they didn't like him. A couple of years ago, they hid Juju Smith-Schuster and tried as hard as they could to hide Juju Smith-Schuster. Is Quinion Mitchell their next one to just say, maybe we could hide Quinion Mitchell?
Yeah, it would make perfect sense. Kind of like Kenny, Toledo's, I don't have Google Maps in front of me, but it can't be that far of a drive from Pittsburgh. Like, Kenny was in their backyard too. Like, it's a guy that you can send a scout to every week or something like that, or you can kind of keep a close eye on him because he's in your backyard. So I think I think the fact that they didn't meet with him was more about, well, yeah, we've done our homework on this guy. Like, we know what we're getting. If he's there, if he's in the right spot, we'll take him. But it's no guarantee. But just if he's there, he's there. And I suppose meeting with those other guys is kind of a contingency plan. It's okay. Well, we don't know these guys as well. Like, let's get to know them. But I don't know. To me, when they don't meet with him, but we've got all this other evidence that they are clearly interested in him. It just kind of makes me think like, oh, this is the top guy on their board. Like, this is the number one dude.
Yes.
Like, if there's anyone that they want in the world, this is the guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're just like, I don't know. Like, I think it's like Mike Tomlin, like, it's like when like a kid or even like an old guy like thinks that they're like pulling one over on you. They're like, Mike Tomlin's just sitting around. He's like, they have no idea. They have no idea that we love Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah. It's like middle school crush. Like, you're trying to be like, oh, if I don't pay attention to her, then she's going to really want, that's what's going to make her be really into me.
Yeah, no, the rest of the teams, they're not going to like him because we didn't meet with Quinion Mitchell. Like, that's exactly what I think it is. And I think he's their top guy. I've been told by a number of people that he is their top guy. That this is for weeks now. And being here, like, it's like walking through a door and somebody be like, Quinion Mitchell, top of the Steelers draft board. And I'm like, oh, nice to see you too. Thanks. Hope the family's well. Think that I don't think they're hiding it all. I also don't know what do you need to meet with them? You've already done all this homework on them. Like, you're going to sit down with them and be like, hey, how's it going? We met twice at the Senior Bowl. Right. Anything change? How's life?
Right. Like, we've met with you like already in a less stressful environment where our formal meetings aren't, counted as strictly like they know what they need to know about Quinion Mitchell. I feel like this isn't.
That's what I'm saying. They'll bring him in for a top 30 visit, and they'll sit down. Mike Tomlin will have his conversation with them there, and that'll be it. There'll be a couple of guys at Toledo's pro day. Mike Tomlin will be one of them, and that's just how they're going to go about it. Not worried about it at all. If he is not there, because there is a possibility he does not make it to 20. The way that he's climbing, I'm not sure that he's gonna. Kool-Aid McKinstry had great things to say. Arnold had great things to say. Nate Wiggins also met with the Steelers, had great things to say. Cooper DeJean had some great things to say about Mike Tomlin. All those names could possibly be there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have a favorite of all those that you think, if you're going to take one, you might as well take one. And you're smiling because you know my favorite, but do you have a favorite?
I do. I have man, that would be pretty funny if
Look,
he was.
I'm telling you,
and I'm giving it away already. But no, I think Nate Wiggins is probably like my favorite player of those guys. Okay. Like I love his length. I like Clemson corners. I feel like those guys usually work out. I just think of like AJ Terrell in Atlanta. I've watched a couple Clemson games and he's looked really good. He seems big and strong and physical, just kind of in the same mold as Joey Porter Jr. So I like that, just having two kind of big, I don't even know what the word would be, but like bodyguards, in your secondary, guys who just throwing people around. So I think that's why I'd like Nate Wiggins, but your guy, I cannot deny. This guy would be just electric in the city of Pittsburgh.
He's so awesome.
I mean, he's going to be electric wherever he goes, but I think in Pittsburgh too, he'd be just as electric.
There are just so many things. Like the punt returning aspect of it. Could you imagine Calvin Austin and Cooper DeJean just lining up?
I was going to say, you didn't name him. You didn't name him.
Like he just CBC. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. There's one storyline when it comes to the corners that is not Quinion Mitchell, and that is, can the Pittsburgh Steelers land White Lightning? And I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I think he'd be electric. I think he'd be so fun to watch. I also think he's phenomenal. I think he's a great corner. That being said, though, I'm a huge Nate Wiggins guy. My only concern with Nate Wiggins is he's very skinny, and I didn't realize how skinny he was until he went to the podium today. And my first thought immediately was, you are very tiny. But it's the NFL. You could put some weight on. Kool-Aid McKinstry, I will say, looks like a Pittsburgh Steelers corner. He looks like he's going to hit you. He looks like he's going to play physical. He's lengthy. He looks like him and Joey Porter Jr. would be real dangerous on the outside. I don't think Arnold has any shot of making it to Pittsburgh, but that would be cool as well.
You think he's going to go too early? Because that's the thing I feel about. I feel like DeJean is not going to be there. I didn't realize Arnold wasn't going to be there either. I have no idea where McKinstry or Wiggins are going to land.
So Wiggins and McKinstry, I feel like, are right around that Steelers mark, 20 to 25 area. McKinstry might even go a little bit deeper, depending. But I think if he's there, the Steelers could grab him. Arnold, I would expect goes earlier, but I think Mitchell changes that. I think if Mitchell goes earlier, maybe Arnold doesn't go until 20. And I think that move would be great for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I agree with you, though. I don't think DeJean makes it to 20. I think it would be so awesome if he did. I think, if him and Mitchell somehow find their way to pick 20,
it's gonna be tough.
That would be crap. I've been told that those are when it comes to the cornerbacks, if the Steelers can pick two of them, it's those two. And
trade up to pick 21 if they both fall.
Yeah, just skip up and then just tell Joey, just be like, sorry pal, you move. Yeah,
he's included in the this is perfect. He's included in the trade for 21, and then everyone is happy.
Now we're starting to piss people off. You toss Joey Porter Jr. in there, immediately everybody's like, yeah, I'm done. You lost me on that one. I think either one of them be incredible. I wouldn't put any stock in them not meeting with Mitchell here. I think that they're all in on it. Tomorrow's the quarterbacks. We'll see what happens there. Be a very interesting day. And then obviously the offensive lineman, which I'm very excited for, just a bunch of dudes because Mike Tomlin loves his offensive lineman. He's going to be in there. They're going to have the best. Everybody else was oh, it was great. He was energetic, blah, blah, blah. The big guys, they're going to be oh, dude, he stood me up. He said, let's go. Me and you right here in the corner. And I'm very excited for them to kind of see that. But it was a big day here at the NFL Combine. Indy's a good time. Going to St. Elmo's tonight. We'll miss you. We'll leave a table out there at St. Elmo's. I know. I'm sorry. I ate the cocktail sauce today. I was better because for those of you who have never been to Indianapolis, there's a restaurant. It's called St. Elmo's. Apparently, it's famous. I don't know. My dad tells me it's in a song or something. And I'm gonna get blasted in the comments for not knowing the song, so I apologize. They have a shrimp cocktail. Cocktail sauce is, and Nick might not even know this. Nick might be listening to this for the first time. They have a shrimp cocktail sauce, and that cocktail sauce will not just punch you in the sinuses, but it will clear you out for the rest of the year. You will have 6 months of clear sinuses just from this cocktail sauce. Last year when we went to St. Elmo's, Steven did not know about the cocktail sauce, and it's just kind of like it's a rite of passage to just sit there and let them just do what they got to do with the cocktail sauce. So most times people go full dip because you got a shrimp, you're boom,
You got one, you can't.
yeah, like you just boop, and then you put it in your mouth, and it hurts. Like it's not like, oh, that was spicy. It's the craziest thing. They were walking down the hall today, and you smelt it as they were walking down the hall.
That's the thing. It's not even like it is spicy. It is,
Yeah.
but like that's not the overwhelming sense that you get. You just get like
No.
a tingling sensation throughout your entire face.
Yes. Immediately start. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like you like ate some wasabi or something. Like it's just like you can't explain why you're crying or why everything is just like pulsating. Yeah, that's exactly it. But there was somebody new today. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think I had my first one the last year, the day, like the morning before we went to St. Elmo's, and I like had my first one in the morning, whatever, knocked me out, and then we get to St. Elmo's that night, and someone had an extra one or like didn't want to eat theirs, and I had like 3, I think, at dinner. It was awesome.
That's the thing. It is delicious. Like people are like, "Oh, it's good." I'm like, "It's fantastic." Like I'll go through the pain every time because it's that good. But today there was somebody sitting next to me. He's never had it, and I didn't feel right. I didn't know him well enough. He's like, "Why is everybody laughing?" I was like, "Wipe some of it off. Just like you put too much on there, it's gonna hurt." I felt good, so I'll eat some. I'll eat some in your honor tonight, and
appreciate it.
Yeah, when I'll send a picture of me like tearing up or something, as one does. With that, we're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. And as always, find all of our work at allsteelers.com and our pit coverage at insidethepanthers.com. We will be back on Monday to round out everything that you guys missed the next couple of days at the NFL Combine. And hopefully I make it back to the city of Pittsburgh if these shrimp cocktails do not kill me tonight. That being said, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.